Hello, everyone. My name is Amir Khan. I welcome you to the next user session on the ALM Octane Academy. It is the very first user session, and we have a very special guest today from Sunrise. We already had two participants contributing to the academy. And today we have Reto Sellmann with us, who is going to share his journey from ALM QC to ALM Octane and also tell us more about what his role is and how he's using Octane today. So super excited to have him here. Reto, very welcome, warm welcome from my side. Thank you for being here with us and sharing your knowledge, your contribution to the community. Hello, first of all, yeah.
Hi, thanks for having me.
So, Reto, before we go into the session itself, can you maybe introduce yourself by saying who Reto Sellmann is and since when are you working at Sunrise? What's your role and when you have entered testing?
Yeah, sure. So I'm working at Sunrise since May 2008. In IT since May 2015. Yes,
Wow. Okay.
May 2015.
Yeah.
Started first in the release management and testing team. Then after about 2 years, I switched to the IPC team, so incident management, and I'm doing the whole defect management for production incidents for almost all applications.
Okay, so your official role is specialist IPC and service quality. Right?
Correct, yes, correct.
Okay. And can you explain maybe how your daily work starts when you go to the office or currently home office? What do you do first after drinking all the coffees and breakfast?
First thing I do in the morning, I check all open production defects, which are not in status rollout to production. Mostly in the morning, the defects which are in status info needed or in status rejected. I'm sending a daily mail to all people who have one of these defects, and I remind them to update them and send it back with the needed informations, or kindly ask them to cancel rejected defects if there is a reason to cancel them. This is actually the first thing I do every morning. It's 10-15 minute work. This is actually the first thing I do in the morning.
Okay, thank you, Reto. And you have been really working, I think, round about 1 year ago with ALM QC when you were checking the defects. So what were the features you did use on QC side? And maybe you had some challenges you faced in your daily work?
So with the old ALM QC, I did actually the same daily work as I do now. The handling is a bit easier as before. So the change to Octane made my life a bit easier, or not a bit, made my life more easy. And yes, so there's not much difference in what I'm doing. It's just the way of how I work changed dramatically, but in a good way.
Okay, so now moving towards Octane, so you are working on the same records. I understand this. You are working in the defect management module or in the issues module. So how about the user experience? Can you elaborate on that when you compare it to Quality Center?
In general, as I already mentioned, it made my work life much easier as the handling is much simpler, at least for me. All the graphic in Octane is much more user friendly. The handling itself is much more user friendly. So there are some things which can be improved, of course, but these are minor things. So overall, saying it's a big improvement for me, and I think also for the company.
Okay, and now you have been working with QC, right? What would you say to users who are currently starting the journey towards Octane or are in between of moving towards Octane? What would you suggest them? What would you say to them about Octane? What is the major improvement you have seen there?
Major improvement is for sure the overall handling of defects. Also, the very big improvement is that you can use different browsers, as I'm not a fan of Internet Explorer. So old ALM QC only worked with Internet Explorer, which was a bit of a pain. But I would tell users, if they are switching from ALM QC to Octane, I would just say them, be open for new things, don't be scared, and just yeah, be open and yeah.
So you mentioned a very interesting point about Internet Explorer. So since when is it decided already to shut down Internet Explorer at your company where you are working today?
As far as I know, there is something ongoing. I'm not very sure, but if I use Microsoft browser, then it will be Edge and not
Edge.
Internet Explorer. But there are some systems which are only working fully with Internet Explorer. So, for example, our time recording tool only works perfectly with Internet Explorer for the moment. So I think that's the reason why they did not shut down Internet Explorer, definitely. But as far as I know, there is something ongoing. This is not really my area where I'm working, but yeah, sooner or later, I think it will disappear.
I've been also working for the time period for Sunrise. So I was using Chrome as a major browser, but I think you have all of them. You have Chrome, Chrome, Firefox, and Edge, right?
Correct, yes.
Okay. So can you also, or maybe let me quickly share my screen and I will show you ALM Octane to start to continue the discussion over there. Let me share the desktop. Let me know when you see my screen.
I can see it.
Okay, so when I open the modules option, no, first of all, here you have this option to work in multi-languages. Yeah? So you can work in English, in German. Are you using it, or are you saying, okay, we are working anyway as a company, Sunrise, with English, so we don't use this feature? You can switch to a German mode or French.
Yes, actually, I only use the English version because since English is not my mother language, it's always good to use such tools in English, so you can also learn a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't use the German version.
Okay. So great. When we open the modules bar, you will see that there are already a few new features added, but ignore them for now. So you are working only here in the issues module, right?
For 99%, yes.
Okay, and the other 1% is around my work, I guess, or dashboard.
My work.
So it will be
there
my
are
work.
times when people are assigning defects to me. Then, of course, I use that feature, but it's really issues where I'm working.
Okay, so mainly you are working in issues, and in my work, you basically look for your defect, which were or which are assigned to you or have been assigned to you.
Correct.
Are you also consuming these notification features or collaboration features within Octane, where you can follow a defect, for instance, like on social media? Like I would follow you on Facebook, then I see every day what you are posting, similar approach?
Well, I use the functionality to follow defects if, for example, if there is a task force or going for some kind of issue which we have in production, then I use the functionality to follow. Then I get every time a notification if someone changed or added a comment into the defect. Then I don't need to reload the page all the time to see if there is something ongoing. I don't use it very often, but if I need to follow something or if I'm leading a task force, for example, then it's a very good feature.
Okay. Thanks for that feedback. And comments, collaboration, where you point on other users or notify them, like here, where you can mention other users so they get notified, and you have all the collaboration features. Currently, I think Agne told me that you guys are using the Teams integration, right? Where you can open a defect in a Teams chat mode and then directly get collaboration with other users there.
So the comment function I'm mostly using if I want to notify defect owner. With the old ALM, I had to raised an email and asked the guy, hey, can you please give me an update, or hey, can you please update the defect and send it to whomever. The good thing is if I use this comment functionality with this at XYZ, the user receives an email, and I realized that people really are acting on this, and this is very good because they receive an email very fast. And my experience is that people are, yes, as I said, they're acting very fast if they receive such an email. If I just send them a standard email via Outlook, it takes normally more time because people are receiving so many emails. And since the template for the Octane emails are a bit different than standard emails, people are acting faster.
Okay, great feedback. Thank you, Reto. So let's go now into the issues module, and here I have a few specific questions to you. You know that in ALM Octane we provide different views for defects. Yeah, like you have currently the smart view, you have also the grid view. I think you already have the slim grid view, which is the latest one, and you have the board view. So which of those views are you using? Are you using every view, or?
Actually, I'm just using one view. The second last one I use.
So it is the
this
slim grid. Okay, so
correct.
This has been also new feature. So you are already using it, and I guess you are using it because it appears like in a tabular mode, so you can see it in a table. Okay. Are you using any kind of grouping features here directly on the columns, like phase, group by phase? So it will show me directly all the defects which are grouped by phase if you want to maybe know how the progress looks like on different defects.
Actually, I don't use that content because when I'm opening defects, most of the time I have only one defect open and not several. For me, it's just easier to handle it. So when I checked one defect and I know what I need to know and I go to the next one, I delete the view of the one before. So yes, like this.
Actually, this is what I learned from you guys. This was also a feature in QC. So most of the times you are using, like, you know, if you want to see 2 defects or 3 defects, you are using like this filter, and you can easily change it there. So this is really something which is being addressed really if you are working on defects. So you can focus on those defects by applying those filters. Anything from the quick filters you are consuming, or you want to share something on the quick filters?
Well, the filters I have set are only for production defects, of course, since I'm rarely working in test area. So the filter is set for production defects, and the defects which are in status cancelled or in production are also filtered.
Okay, great. Thank you. And on the defect itself, so if we dive into the defect, you have for sure here Sunrise specific fields defined and also Sunrise specific users. Any special thing you are using here for defects which you say, okay, this is something I want to highlight and share?
Well, the good thing is that I can change the view of the defect. So on the right side, where I can add or delete some. Yes, correct, this one. This is very good. So this I'm using a lot. So I can just highlight these fields which I really need. That was not really possible as far as I remember with the ALM QC. You just had the standard content with all the drop downs. And here you can just create your own view, which is very good.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So this is good. Tagging is, I think, not used. Relations is also something I would say you are not directly using, right?
No, not at the moment.
Okay.
The things I need are for sure the attachments. If there are some, this is used mostly. And yes, actually, this is the only thing I'm using. So the front of the defect and the attachments.
Okay. So now the very last question, Reto, I wanted to ask you as a contributor to the Academy, what is your favorite feature in ALM Octane? What would you say, okay, this is something I use the most, and this is also something which helps me a lot?
This is a good question. I cannot highlight one specific functionality which I like. There are several. So for example, the autosave function is very good. This also helps other people to standard users, helps a lot to handle Octane. As I mentioned before, also that it's possible to use different browsers, which is a very good feature. And I think in general, the whole Octane, how it was built, is much more user-friendly in general than the old ALM QC. So there are for sure some things, small things, which can be improved, but the overall statement is it's from the old ALM to the new Octane, it's light years between old and new. So really a big and very good improvement.
Great. Really, thank you for that feedback. I think also our product manager will watch this session. So really, thanks a lot for the feedback and contribution you made today. Any last words you want to share with the community and tell people who are moving towards Octane?
Not specific for the users. What I would recommend is if people are familiar with the old ALM QC and switching to the Octane version, I think it's very important that the people are getting trained on this, because humans are mostly familiar to things which they know, and they have problems, not really problems, but sometimes problems to adapt to new things. So from my point of view, it's very important that the people get trained. Basic functionalities, for example, I think this is one of the most important things, that the people are get trained, because there are different things how this tool can be handled. So I think this is very important. Training, and that the people get familiar with it.
Great, thanks a lot. And this was also one topic you guys have addressed really great. The training, the user adoption. You have picked up the key users very early in the phase before moving towards Octane. And as a result, we can see that majority of the users are really working and feeling comfortable using the new solution. So thanks a lot, Reto. Really appreciated your feedback, your journey, and looking forward for meeting you in this year once the lockdown
we will
is
for
finished,
sure.
Yeah? Okay, then thanks a lot and take care.
Thanks to you, and have a good weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Thanks.